On. Senator Kang'ata, thanks for staying with us patiently. What next for you?
That determination will be made very soon. Maybe the next 3 weeks I'll be having a small gathering in my home in Murang'a, and I will make a major pronouncement as to the next course of action. You
don't want to give us a hint? Your constituents in Murang'a are watching tonight. I'm sure they're keenly following. You don't give them a preview or a prelude to that announcement, what it may entail? Could you, for example, be looking to decamp to Kangata faction of Jubilee?
First, it's not about me. It's about the wananchi. I strongly believe leaders' role in politics is about echoing what the people are saying. So I need to talk with my people. They give me a political direction, and then I echo their views. And I think that's what I was doing even with my letter.
Okay.
And secondly, let me respond a little bit to some of those issues that have been raised. Murkomen is my personal friend. In fact, in the entire Senate, I do not have a bosom friend who maybe can supersede the relationship that I have with Murkomen. Why? We were in college together for the 4 years I was at the University of Nairobi. He was one class behind me, so we became very good friends. He was a politician. He was our chairman of Kenya Law Student Society. I was the vice chairman at one moment. And when this problem started to emanate in Senate, we had a discussion with him, and I told him, yes, I may agree as to the ultimate direction, as to where we may end up, but I strongly believe let us assist President Uhuru Kenyatta to complete his term and to visualize his dream. So for me, I held that view, and which is still my view.
Okay.
But in a way also, Murkomen warned me when we had that discussion. He told me, I doubt as to whether you will get the freedom to express yourself. I doubted him then, but with the benefit of the hindsight, I think he was right. Because for me, I never thought by joining and supporting the government, that meant that I don't have my freedom to express myself and to freely raise issues.
I was going to say on a side note that I'm glad to hear you and Murkomen are friends, that you go way back. Some today questioned, and today you did look like bosom friends as you are giving that press briefing. Do we have that Murkomen tweet? I'm sure you've read it, Senator. And we're putting it up now, and this is something he said about a few months ago. We're putting that up. He said, Murang'a people left a solid negotiator, Senator Kembi, elected, I don't want to say that word, called Kang'ata, who can't convince anyone. He should know I'm not one of those BBI boys to be blackmailed. How did Jubilee replace Senator Kihika? And he went on, Rift Valley would gain, and yes, we are for equity, Utadu.
Yeah, I think we had...
Utadu? Go ahead. What was happening then? Because today the camaraderie looked very strong, but then he was very angry with you.
Yeah, I remember we were on the opposing side during the revenue sharing debate, you recall. He was supporting the so-called Team Kenya. I was pushing for the so-called 1 man, 1 shilling, 1 vote, which I still maintain that the people of Mount Kenya region, they don't get their due share when it's come to revenue sharing in county revenue. But he held a slightly different view. So in that struggle, that's when he did that tweet. So we are friends. We remain very bosom friend. He has never failed to attend any of my social events in Murang'a. But at times we do have a little bit of ideological differences.
Okay.
Particularly on that issue concerning revenue sharing. But that does not mean that we don't agree on certain areas, particularly on political matters.
Let me ask you one more before we bring in Honorable Kioni. The issue of the political philosophy of our political class. We have an Irungu Kang'ata who last year was very pro-Jubilee, very pro-party leader, pro-constitution. Now you say you're pro-people. And if Murkomen was here, I would ask him the same question. Don't you feel, Senator Kang'ata, that you confuse even your constituents, those who follow you, when a couple of months back you hold one view, a couple of months later you hold a different view? Tonight, what is your political philosophy?
I disagree with you that I've really changed my political philosophy or even my respect to His Excellency President Uhuru Kenyatta. I still maintain that President Uhuru Kenyatta is not my competitor. I have no reason as to why I would abuse him or disagree with him. President Uhuru Kenyatta will not be on the ballot in the year 2022. So therefore, my preferred presidential candidate in 2022 will not compete with His Excellency President Uhuru. So therefore, in a way, from where I see it, there's no way I can undermine President Uhuru Kenyatta.
Who is your preferred presidential candidate in 2022?
Yeah, for me, I belong to the school of thought what President Uhuru Kenyatta told us about, was it 2-3 years ago?
Do you mind repeating it for us who may have a short memory?
No. He said, yangu kumi, ya Ruto kumi.
Okay.
Yeah, so me, I belong to that school of thought. Because, in fact, I think he even said he has never reneged on that public declaration. So, I still believe supporting Ruto is also showing respect to the direction which President told us, those of us who come from that region. So for me, but on the other hand, President Uhuru Kenyatta will not be on the ballot in 2022. So therefore, it makes sense for us to support him to finalize his term. We need to respect him. He's our president. He's the symbol of the national unity. The only slight maybe problem that which appears to have arisen for the last few days or months is that idea that it seems the party is not giving us the opportunity to express ourselves. I strongly believe the right, the freedom of expression is embedded in the Constitution.
Okay.
People fought and they lost their lives pursuing that right.
Okay, and I'll engage you a bit more on that, but let me bring in Honorable Kioni before we take that first break. Honorable Kioni, I have a lot to ask you, but I'm sure you've had a listen to what the good senator has spoken about today here in studio. I can give you a chance to respond to his de-whipping and his feeling that there is no democracy in the party, people cannot express their views, and when they do, there are consequences. What do you make of that?
And thank you for having me. I've been waiting here for a while. I really don't want to respond to Senator Kang'ata's view because he's really been talking about his personal thinking, his personal approach to issues, and what happened to him today. But I think what is crucial to me is that the style of leadership varies, and I see like his is quite different from what I think myself. I don't echo what people tell me. I listen to them and I offer leadership because they elected me as a leader. So I choose to read and not just to become a leader. I wouldn't watch our dirty linen in public, even as a party. I would choose to talk to my boss, and especially if given a responsibility similar to what he was given. I wouldn't even bother writing a letter, whether it was to go to the president privately or otherwise. But again, I'm not saying that he did something that is very, according to him, he says it's not anything wrong. According to me, I would have used a different style. Crucially, it is important to be consistent with the kind of records that we have. We will be able to quickly find out whether one is consistent or there is a little bit or a lot of flip-flopping. And I'm saying this, I really don't want to answer Kang'ata. He has answered himself.
Okay.
You have asked him many questions, and I believe that the viewers have decided, have listened.
Tell me this.
They've made their own decision.
Tell me then this briefly before we do take that break. So what does this then mean for the future of the Jubilee Party? Again, and this is a conversation we've been having for the last couple of months. We saw Jubilee Purge 1.0 last year that, took in its path people like Senator Murkomen, Senator Kihika. Now we are seeing a sort of a Jubilee Purge again 2.0. And some like Murkomen today said those who have been purged are now in the majority and those left in the party are in the minority. What does the future look like for your party? Honorable Kioni.
One of the things that is clear is that we have 1.5 years or so to speak to deliver on the promises that were made to Kenyans. It is very crucial that we have people who have a belief in one thing and are committed to delivering on those promises. Those who think that we should be engaging on other issues should be allowed to engage on those issues. But a team that can deliver on a few more promises that we made during 2017 It doesn't matter the number. What is crucial is in delivery of those numbers. I belong to that school. I belong to that team that want to deliver on the promises that we made to Kenyans in the coming 1.5 years. There are those which have been delivered. There are those we are going to deliver in the coming 1.5 years. There are those we may not be able to deliver. And of course, because a lot of time has been wasted in a lot of issues that sideshows, if I may call them. But I want to tell you that you do not need the multitude to deliver. And I can also tell you that to think that the numbers in Jubilee have dwindled, I think is another illusion.
Okay, we'll hold on that. I've got more to engage both my guests on immediately after this break. We have here with us in studio Senator Kang'ata, and joining us remotely is Honorable Jeremiah Kioni. We talk about the future of the Jubilee Party and so much more, and I'll be looking at your feedback as well when we return.